And welcome everyone to a new episode of Hashtag Playing Together.
Hello, we are the student note, Johan and Desi, and today we have Joe Bill with us, playing with us. Hi, Joe.
Hi,
How are you? And where are you?
I'm in Chicago. I'm fine, and during this time, I think fine is good.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Talk to me. Talk to me maybe in another week.
Yes, we
Maybe.
can imagine why.
Yeah, we're in a. So I don't know if you've heard, but in the States, we're a little bit depressed and anxious.
Don't know why.
I don't know. Probably just the winter.
Yes, it's like everywhere. So
Yeah.
tell us something interesting and curious and funny and positive about yourself.
Oh my
Something
God. No.
nobody knows.
No pressure. It's something that nobody knows. Um, when I was 19 years old, I was in a traveling musical group, and we performed at the halftime of the Super Bowl.
Oh,
Uh, and
For how long?
I had a big red afro. Uh, and somewhere online you can see clips of that halftime show.
yeah.
Okay, and how long was your performance? I mean,
It was a big group, so there was maybe 500 of us. So I was not, a featured. I was not Janet Jackson,
mhm.
but I was running around on the field doing formations and
Okay.
but you can see the light on me. But that group was called Up with People, or in French it's Vive les gens, or in Espanol it's Viva la gente.
Okay. Hmm.
And so it's known as very positive, almost to the point of being cheesy
And vanilla.
group that's very optimistic.
And can people recognize you still when they see the clips on the internet? Or
I
is it
don't think so. Yeah, I'm maybe twice the size. I've grown this way. I stopped growing this way and I started growing this way. So
okay?
it's
But
a
you,
much younger.
yeah, but
Yeah,
but you know where you are. You can still see yourself.
I know where I am.
Okay.
If if I get ambitious, then I can. I'll send you a link and I'll post some time codes where you can see me.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Yeah, we can even put it on our page if you are
Oh,
very ambitious.
we'll see. Maybe when it's late at night in Brussels and I've had my first glass of wine, then you can call me and convince me to do
Okay.
this.
Good. Yeah, Joe, it's so great you're here. And we are going to play, yeah, a little story
Yeah, let's
together.
do that. Let's play.
Yeah, and then we have a chat about improv. Um, Out of the Meisner book, from page 100 to page 200, I'm going to read a line, and that will be our suggestion. So
Hmm.
give us a number between 100 and 200.
162.
162.
I was born in 1962.
The first line is,
Mhm.
"You just want to be a star."
You just want to be a star.
Yeah, are you okay with that
Okay.
line?
Yes, I'm okay with any line.
Okay. You just want to be a star. Okay, so
Okay.
let's go away and enjoy.
Thank you. Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, I think my English is getting better thanks to this exercise.
Yeah. It's a very overrated language. So even if you're sloppy, but you speak it with confidence, that's what matters.
Hello and welcome My name is Samantha.
Is it a question? Is it a question?
I'm sorry, the intonation. I know it's.
Let me just take a minute. You are Samantha, yeah?
Yes, I am.
Can you breathe and breathe in more Samantha from the universe? In your head, can you feel that the universe is full of Samantha?
Well, people keep saying that I have to change my name.
I think it's time that maybe you stop worrying about what people think.
I like people to like me.
Yeah, that's. Do you know what percentage of actors have this disease?
All of them?
Pretty much all of them. Pretty much all actors have the disease. It's a disease, it's an affliction of wanting people to like them. So now, can you get to the base of what will make people like you? Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Can you like yourself without knowing if they like you? Can you pretend that you like yourself?
Yes, I can do that.
You can pretend that you like yourself. Do you know what we call that?
Acting.
We call that acting. Yes, that is right.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is not Samantha. My name is Stu. Huh?
Yes.
That's it, right? Stu.
Yes. I want you to keep that same confidence when Mr. Philcosvky arrives. We know that he's a very famous casting director, but he does not like anyone to acknowledge that he is famous and important.
Okay.
So if you want to impress him, you need to act like you love yourself and then pretend like you don't give a shit about him. Can I see you not give a shit about me? I think you're trying too hard. Let me see your face. Let me see just your eyes. Not give a shit about me. There. Yes, Samantha. Yes.
Toc, 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 toc. Toc, toc, toc.
Come in.
Hello,
Hello,
I'm
Mr.
Mr.
Philcosvky.
Hi. You must be Mr. Edward, yeah? You're the coach, the theater coach.
I am the coach. This
And you are
is
Samantha?
Samantha.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm Stu.
Now, I must say, normally I don't come when people call me on the phone saying they know a star, an undiscovered star. I normally don't do that, yeah? But Mr. Edward,
I would not have called you Mr. Philcosvky if I didn't believe that what we have here is maybe the truest star potential that we've ever seen.
do you know how many times people have told me
I
this
think
exact
you've
line?
probably yes, I think you've probably lived your entire life having people tell you something like this. But I want you just to look at her face and I want you to see how much she does not care.
Well, I like people who don't care.
That's it.
Do you care, Samantha?
She's a star. She is a star waiting to be a star, but she doesn't care if she's a star, which is what makes a star a star. Shall I take a step to the side so that you can see what she does?
Yeah.
I'll be right over here.
Okay. Look at me. I have to see that you don't care. Samantha, I have a question for you. Do you ever had a desire to change your name?
I already did it. Samantha is too girly. I would like you to call me Stu.
Mr. Edward, Mr. Edward.
Yes?
That's terrible, yeah? She changed her name. She cared about something.
Here.
She changed her name to Stu.
Yeah,
What a horrible name that is.
it is. Samantha is so much.
Doesn't that prove to you how much she doesn't care?
Oh,
Samantha, it's like poetry. That name is like poetry. But Samantha, I mean, Stu, she does not care so much that she changed her name to one of the least desirable names in the history of names. Only a star would do that. That's what I say.
okay. Okay, that's a good point. I haven't looked at that in that particular way. You just explained me. Okay.
I'll go sit over here.
Yeah, just sit there.
I have a monologue prepared.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
So?
You are too good. And you are too bad for me. But I want you. Because you're like a book in a basketball. And I'm a very good player.
Mr. Edward.
Amazing. Amazing.
That was the worst monologue I ever heard. It's so
Yes.
bad. I wouldn't.
Yes.
I would be ashamed.
Oh,
Stu.
it is from a play Miss Edward wrote for me.
Yes. I wrote this play for her, and it's called a play called Indifference and Basketball.
Okay.
Here's the interesting thing that Stu can do. Stu can tell you what is not written in the monologue, all of the internal psychology and emotion underneath that monologue, which is way more interesting than the words I've written. Stu, would you be willing to tell Mr. Philcosvky what is underneath the monologue? Would you like to share with him the truth of the monologue? Mr. Philcosvky, could you give us just a minute? Can I just talk to Stu for 1 minute?
Yes.
You're killing it. You're doing so great. But now I need to see you love yourself.
Okay.
Love yourself while despising him. And say the truth. You're my star. You're going to make us both famous. Mr. Philcosvky, you could come back in.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll be over here.
Okay, Mr. Edward. No, I have to say, I don't have much time anymore.
Okay, just listen. My character is in love with a guy. She likes books and basketball. But her biggest desire is to find a cure for her allergy. She's allergic to corn. And she lives in cornfield.
It's beautiful. Oh,
See the tears, they're burning in my eyes.
So I must say,
Mr. Philcosvky,
I was touched, I guess. Uh, yeah, what can I say, Mr. Edward? I'm very pleased that you called me because I think we really have a natural talent here.
and a very
think
good
so
play.
too. Yes, it's a very, very good play, but only in the hands of Samantha. I mean, of Stu.
Okay, okay. Well, let me think about it. I can't
I just want
decide.
you to know.
It's
Mr. Philcosvky, I want you to know that she does not want to do this. Like it's going to take you to convince her to sign with you. It's
What?
going to take you to tell her that you want her because she doesn't want you. She doesn't want this life. She doesn't want to be a star. You're going to have to convince her.
I never have convinced. Oh, there was never a need for me to convince someone who is completely unknown.
Listen,
I understand if
They
I
all want to
understand if you're
work for me. They
afraid.
want all these
listen,
stars.
I am an orphan and I work in Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I love that. I love my simple life. And this is what you need.
No, I can make
A
you a
simple
star.
person.
You have to
from
work for me.
outside and inside.
I will make you a famous star. You will be in the movies. You will be seen everywhere. And then you can talk about your chicken passions and basketball. Please. Please work for me. Please. Please, I beg you. I beg you. I pay you so much. No actor ever received so much money in his life or her life. Please. Mr. Edward, what can I say? Otherwise, help me here.
And I am going to have my own show on every Sunday.
Of course. Prime time. I give you prime time.
And my teacher, he's going to have his own show on Saturday.
Mr. Edward, of course. Yeah, it's not prime time perhaps, but from 10 to 12 in the evening. Yeah, is that okay?
Sure, that would be great. That would be great. Sure.
Okay.
I mean,
I agree.
Only if Samantha wants that. Only
Samantha.
okay. Just because I'm a good person.
I will go back. We will make a contract, and we bring it to you with a courier as soon as possible. Yeah, Mr. Edward, many thanks for this. I'm really okay. This is the best thing which ever happened to me. I have to go now. We are going to put a contract.
Mr. Philcosvky, could I just ask you one more thing?
Yes.
When you bring the contract, can you bring it with love for yourself?
I will bring it personally, with love for myself. Coming.
Thank you. Thank you. That wasn't so bad, was it?
I am in love with myself.
Yes.
Your technique, it's amazing. It's great.
Look, I understand if you don't need me anymore.
No, we are about to make so much money together.
Oh.
I love myself more and more and more. I think I'm getting taller.
Yes, you are. I mean, before this moment, I was just interested in art, but now you've made me see
the divine.
Yes. You're a goddess.
I'm here with the contract. You're so tall.
I am. I am. I am.
I'll be right over here.
I just, I'm just your humble servant.
You are. You are. You are. You should not love yourself anymore. Or you should love me. Me. Love me.
Mr. Edward, it's unbelievable.
Yes.
As gifts, we give you all the contracts you want. Oh,
I want the world. The world. The world.
the world will be at your feet.
Yes.
Oh, insane.
Oh my God, I think there's a lesson in there somewhere.
So many lessons.
So funny. I didn't saw that coming, the end, the divide.
I love it. The Bulgarian starlet rises up into the heavens.
Like, yeah, it took me 2 minutes.
That was epic.
Yeah. So let's talk about improv. Joe, have you ever done improv in your life, or this was your first time?
I've done 1 or 2 improv shows before, and this made it seem easy.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I learned when I was in high school. Was the first time that I learned about improv, and that was in 1977.
Okay.
So that was before you were born. And what is that? That's like
44 years ago.
yeah, 40 something years.
Yeah, 44.
And then I moved to Chicago. I did improv in college and in university. And then I moved to Chicago in 1985.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess I look at the beginning of, I was in an improv group in university with some people, and half of us moved to Chicago, and we became the founders of Annoyance Theater with some other people. And so I suppose everything began, close to 40 years ago, maybe what would have been, 1983?
Okay.
What kind of improv did you do back then? Short games, long form?
Yeah, like we would do games and sketches. We would perform in a bar.
Yeah.
And
Fine.
so we would do some standard games, but we would also make up our own games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of games designed to keep people in a bar entertained.
Okay. That's great.
And then we would write sketches, and our goal was to always do a new show every week.
Yeah.
So for a while we did that, and then we started getting stuff that became favorite sketches for people. So then it ended up being maybe, if the show was a 90-minute show, maybe 20 or 30 minutes would be some of the greatest hits, and then another hour or more would be new stuff.
Okay. How have you seen the improv scene evolve over these last 44 years? What are the...
I mean, it's just exploded.
Okay.
It's I think in North America anyway, the seeds of improvisation began with Viola Spolin, and that was in the 40s or 50s, I think.
Yeah.
And then the institutions, there was really not an improv. I think Loose Moose and Second City and Players Workshop and all of the institutions kind of started in the 70s. But then there was people improvising and doing scenarios and doing, the ad libs they used to call it. But I think as a formal standalone piece where it was not just training for actors,
Yeah.
that I'm going to say that probably started, in the 60s or 70s. And then I think Keith Johnstone and Del Close kind of came into their own about the same time in the 70s. And so, I mean, the big thing is so many more people know about it. The entire world knows about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so, and I mean, before the pandemic, I was touring internationally for about 10 years. And I was doing it for a long time in North America before that and a little bit in the UK. And so, yeah, now just to see all the different cultures, the way that they do it. I was lucky enough to go to Sofia in Bulgaria, and I got to train a lot of those people. And I tend to like improvisation that's a little more dramatic or more like a piece of theater.
Theatrical, yeah.
Yeah. And so it was, kind of finding my way in with the Bulgarian improvisers where there was some history there, but not, not quite as formalized. And it had that thing where there was kind of an established group, and, that group tends to like, this is what it is, and this is who we are, and it will be nothing else.
Okay.
But I mean, that happens everywhere.
Yeah.
And so there are so many things that improvisation can be. But in all of those things, the people that find improvisation, for them, it just feels so good that you don't want it to be anything else, but it can be many things.
Yeah.
So I think it's, at the same time in the world in the last 30 years, different styles and approaches to improvisation have not just existed, but have become popular and has spread around on all continents. I would assume even Antarctica. But so what I've seen is maybe kind of the growing pains of accepting that there's just different types of improvisation that different people do.
Yeah.
And people relaxing the idea of improvisation has to be one thing. And I think with the pandemic, the advantage of the pandemic and with this is like we're doing now, we're from 3 different places, and yet we're here playing and we're improvising together. And so for me, I will be 59 years old this year, and so it's too late for me to stop being an improviser. This is what I am.
Yeah.
So, I do this. My mission is to make the world smaller, and my mission is to be able to improvise with people all over the world in any way they want to improvise and to somehow be of use. And so, thank you for helping my dream come true.
Yeah. You said you're 59 years old. Do you think you will ever stop with improv?
No, when I die.
Why should we?
I mean, it's not something where you get rich, but it's also something you never have to retire from. So I don't want to retire.
No, that's great.
Like acting. Yeah, you never
Yeah.
retire.
Yeah.
Is there anything in improv you haven't tried yet?
I mean, I think there's some stuff that I think I'm too old or just too out of shape for. So like a lot of the South American improvisation is very physical.
Yeah.
And I think I know, I think you all know like Felipe and Danielle from Colombia or Jacinta from Finland. Like and there's a group called Improtop in Mexico. They're very physical and very, they're just trained in movement and they're trained in all the physicality stuff. So I used to be able to mime stuff okay, but just in terms of, I'm a big basketball body. And so when I was physical, I was just built for running back and forth and putting a ball in a hoop. There it is. Yeah, which was great. When you brought the basketball in, I thought, oh.
Have you tried improv with puppets?
I've done puppet improv. I did puppet improv in Australia at the Improvention, I think it's called, in Canberra. And that was probably 6 years ago. So, and that was very fun. And it's, and that's an example. At IO Theater, there was a puppet show called Felt. So one of my favorite things to watch is puppets that are improvising that just have foul, disgusting language, and that's it's like they're a bunch of drunken animals.
It's funny.
But they can still do a scene. They can still have relationships,
Yes.
but they're just vulgar and they have sex, and I love it. I'm a sucker for that. Oh, look at a puppy!
Yeah.
Oh.
But I have
He's
not
always
done
around.
puppy improv.
You you teach online as well, and you also make your own thing. And recently you've done the bat. I've seen.
Hmm.
Yeah, can you tell us a bit because that's a special thing. Yeah, it's in the dark.
Yeah, so I taught through Kelly Agathos and Phil Lunn at Improv Bubble
Yeah.
in Brussels, and that's kind of like my home theater in Brussels. And the Bat is a format that a group that I used to coach and play with and direct called Georgia Pacific came up with in the late '90s.
Mhm.
And essentially, it's you just turn out the lights and you improvise. And it started off as what's called a blind herald, and it's kind of a listening exercise. But because I'm very auditory, I'm very audio, I'm not so visual.
Mhm.
I liked the idea of doing something like a radio play that's not exactly a radio play. And so I would do soundscapes, and a lot of times one approach to long form improvisation is you have some source material, like it's a deconstruction or something. So it's like an overture for a musical. So you have a soundscape that's like an overture, and then from that
Yeah.
you pull out the play or the story that exists. And so I taught a workshop in this, and the difficulty of doing this online is there's a little bit of a lag
Yeah.
sometimes for us to be able to hear each other. And I figured out one way to get closer to real time. And so I thought, okay, I'll try to do a bat with this group through Improv Bubble, and it worked.
Good.
And
Was it the
so,
first
and
time?
even now, what's this?
Was it the first time you did it online?
I did. There's another audio only platform in the United States that I taught a workshop on, but they didn't do a
No.
performance. And then back in the day, there's sometimes where we would go into a studio where everyone would have their own microphone and do like that type of recording.
Yeah.
But that's a different, there's different techniques you need for a microphone than if you're in a theater and you're projecting live.
Yeah.
So, and it's the same thing. It's when we do this online, we turn off the cameras, we perform in the dark, and we had, I think there was nine or 10 people, and people from all over the world, people from the States. My friend Rita from Peru was there, some people from Belgium,
Yeah.
Denmark. And so, yeah, so they did a bat. And even as we're doing this show right now, I was just seeing Facebook messages where everyone still meets on is it Wednesday or Thursday? Is today Thursday?
It's Thursday.
Today?
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so they still get together and play and jam, and so that makes me happy.
Yeah. Definitely.
Can you tell us more about your story chain project?
Yeah.
Sure. So Story Chain, when the pandemic started, I felt sad, of course, because I'm a person who I love being with people. I like to hug people. And I'm only here in Chicago, and then my daughter comes to stay with me, every week or every other week. So it's like I don't have a lot of contact, and I'm also a little bit high risk. So I just had some sadness. I had some grief. And I realized that I did not feel like going online and doing games and having fun. I just needed to be sad for a while.
Yeah.
But I also have taught storytelling in the context of an Armando, which is a format, or character monologues. I teach storytelling for business people. I teach it, business schools and stuff. And so I thought, okay, there's something with storytelling that I can do on this. And there was a format that we used to do in Chicago that four of us used to do, and it was essentially a storytelling format. So I turned that into, it's not exactly a workshop, it's kind of a gathering. It's just pay what you can or pay nothing, it's fine.
Okay.
But so what it is, it's a 90-minute gathering, and there's usually 3 rounds, sometimes 4 rounds. Each round is 15 minutes. before each round, I give a theme, like I could have danced all night, or I can't believe I ate that, or my cousin. And I put people into breakout rooms of 4 people,
Yeah.
and whoever is inspired first by that theme to tell a story, they tell a story that's 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So the first person tells the story, and then of the other 3 people, whoever is inspired by this person's story, they have to say, "Oh, that reminds me of this," and then they tell their story,
Yes.
and then they're reminded. So that's the chain.
Yeah.
So the idea is, and I have people from, it's the same thing. There's people from all over the world that do this.
Yeah.
And very quickly, I realized that this is something that all of us need and that it's fun. And that I said early on, we might be from different places in the world, but we all live in the same city. And I call that city Coronaville because I'm a dumb improviser. So yeah, it's turned into a thing where it's just the foundation, I think, of who we are, which is sharing our stories with each other, seeing that we have far more in common than we do that is different, and just all the world there are improvisers, and we are family, and we are a tribe, and we are, we're a special breed of people. Maybe we're a little crazier than normal people, or a little more eccentric than normal people, but we have big hearts, and we like to feel, and we like to share our stories. And so this is what Story Chain is. And tomorrow, will this be broadcast today? Are we broadcasting now?
Broadcasting now. Yeah. We're live now.
Yeah. So tomorrow, I have friends in Cologne, Germany, who run Improv Fest online. And so tomorrow there's 7 or 8 instructors that are teaching regular workshops.
Yeah.
And then after that, and I think it might be at 9:00 Central European time. So 21. After their workshop, they come back, they have a drink, and then we're going to do a story chain. So if I put a link that if you can share, I put that in.
I will. Yeah.
In the chat.
Yeah.
And so I encourage people to go, sign up for workshops and then hang around for Story Chain. If you'd like to just come for Story Chain, if you go to Improfest Online, .de, then that website will tell you how to do either one of those.
Okay. So
and then my personal teaching page on Facebook is Joe Bill Teaches!
Yeah.
Exclamation point. And so people can find me and what we're doing there.
I'm putting the Improfest Online link in the comments.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I mean, we put a post there as well. Now, if people want, because the Story Chain, you also host yourself every 2 weeks or so. So if people, hearing this and they say, "Oh, I want to do that, I want to join," they have to contact you, or how does it work?
Yes, if they go to my Joe Bill Teaches page on Facebook, then every week I announce, a week before Story Chain, I announce Story Chain.
Yeah.
So, and this year I'm kind of growing it. So I'm also looking to do once a month, I'll do a Story Chain in conjunction with a festival, or I'm doing it for a festival for a woman in Hong Kong I think that's in March, with Ireland in February.
Yeah.
So it's something that's growing, and I have maybe 30 or 40 people that, regularly come in. Not everyone comes every week. You also don't have to stay for the whole 90 minutes. So sometimes people can only come for an hour, and that's fine.
Okay.
So it's really easy, and but it's just it's a good way for all of us to remember that we're all connected, and, that's why I do it.
Yeah. And that's what we see with all the Zoom prof. People are so much connected all over the world. It's a truly amazing environment. Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah. So cool.
You also have a podcast, Not Therapy.
Oh yeah, so Bala and I, Balasree Viswanathan from India, we do a podcast that we've released a couple episodes. We've recorded like 12 of them.
Okay.
And it's called Not Therapy. And so the idea is, a 58-year-old old white guy from the United States and a 28-year-old brown woman from India compare their notes on improvisation. And it's the same idea, which is like, though we seem to be very different, we're different generations, we're from different countries, and we both are in therapy. So the whole idea is to make it feel like a therapy session that's not therapy.
Yeah. Okay.
And we talk about the intersection of therapy, improvisation, and life.
Oh, yeah.
And so we also have a page on Facebook for that. And we'll probably be, I was talking to her last night, and so we'll probably release another episode sometime in the next week or two. But we're probably not going to release episodes on a regular basis. We'll just release them when we feel like it, because that's our therapy.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, we also will put a link there on our page. Yeah, so people can.
Yeah.
That's a great thing.
I can send that.
Yeah, excellent. Okay.
So we are going to share all of your links.
Yeah.
On our page.
Yeah, and when I see this, if there's anything else we forgot, then I can also put links in the comments.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any big projects? Well, big is perhaps difficult in these times. Any projects coming up otherwise?
I want to pretend like I'm older than I am so I can get a vaccine.
That's a huge project.
It's a huge project. No, I'm just doing what I'm doing. I'm teaching, and then I coach some people, and then I coach some business people. I'm still doing like executive coaching and stuff.
Okay.
And yeah, it's really, I miss touring so much, but this has made me ask myself, am I really an improviser? So it's, I've lost so much work, but the way my strategy is to, just make enough to try to get by during this.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm like everybody else. I'm just like, ugh, every month it's okay. I got through another month.
Yeah. When is it going to be over?
Yeah. It takes too long.
I think
so long.
Yeah, I think it's and it's it's just embarrassing that in the United States they're so disorganized that I think it was in the last week they were saying now they're throwing away doses of the vaccine because they were too restricted on who they were going to give it to. And so one more week and the insane person that's been running my country will be gone, and maybe the organization will be better. But I mean, there was the planning has been terrible, and hopefully even by February, the amount of vaccine that's going out is going to increase. So, it's hard. I'm being very Buddhist these days. I'm not hoping or attaching to anything forward. I'm just trying
crazy. We don't have enough vaccines here in Belgium yet. So,
yeah. Well,
give it to us.
No, I would love it, but that's also part of the organization where, like, they said that Trump refused to buy extra vaccines, and so the European Union bought the vaccines. So then we fell behind. Yeah, who knows? Yeah, one thing I know is probably actors will be the last people to get vaccines.
Well, they will. So, Belgium, the essential professions, they will get a vaccine first. First, the old age group, but also then the essential laborers and professions. I'm not sure actors will be there, but in that group, but that would be nice.
Yeah, because improv and acting keep us healthy and young.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
And if it wasn't for us, then all the people that are slaving at regular jobs, they would have no relief for their spirit. So. But this is the story of actors. Okay. Yeah. If we did not have a struggle, we could not be actors.
Yeah. We need the drama.
Must have it.
Yeah. Okay. I think we was at the end of it, unfortunately. So many thanks, Joe, that you played with us. It was amazing.
It's my pleasure. It was a joy, and thank you. And I've watched a couple, and I will continue to watch all of you, and hopefully it will be soon where I can come back to Brussels and have a beer and hug you both.
That would be so good.
Yeah.
But I think you can come, but you cannot hug us.
No, Americans are not allowed in Europe yet.
Okay.
Oh, no, okay. Okay.
Yeah. In the UK, yes. Yeah.
Virtual hug. Okay. Yeah, surely we will see each other in Brussels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we will.
Yeah.
And
In 2 months.
I'll try to yeah, and I'll try to send you I'll put you on my story chain list
Oh yeah.
so I can send you links. So
Ah,
and it's it's usually on Fridays at 20 in Belgian time.
Okay.
So
8 o'clock.
or 8 o'clock.
Okay.
okay.
That's a
So
good.
it just a little bit later this week, so we can interface with the festival. But I'll be in touch with both of you.
Okay.
Okay.
That's really great.
Good.
So
Thank you.
don't go away yet, but let's say goodbye to everyone.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
take us off.
Bye,
Bye.
audience.
Thank you for
Bye all.
watching. Bye.
Thanks for watching.
Ah! Hold on.